It's time for Justice for All, Behind the Badge video, streamed live from Team Toyota Route 1 in Langhorne with your host, Tom Mellon, featuring Bucks County District Attorney Matt Weintraub and Bucks County Sheriff Fred Harran. Here's your host from Team Toyota, Tom Mellon.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Behind the Badge with our County Sheriff, Bucks County Sheriff Fred Harran. Happy New Year to everyone. Bree, I hope you have started off the year in a very positive fashion. We're happy to see you bright and cheerful here today. And Fred, Happy New Year to you, buddy.
Happy New Year. I see normally you have cookies. I guess you guys have a New Year's resolution.
It's a new resolution. We want to keep everyone
hardy. Next month we'll give up the resolution and we'll bring the cookies back.
Hardy and healthy this year, Keep that heart pumping. Clean up all the valves and all that neat stuff. But, as we enter a new year, I hope that everyone had a very happy, joyous, and healthy one and stayed safe out there. That's what's most important. We want to thank Paul Muller, our sponsor, for more than 12 years now, who's the reason we can bring to you, our listenership, these wonderful shows. Behind the Badge, Justice for All, Let's Go Places, Your Health with Tom Mellon. Bree, if I keep going on, that'll be the end of the hour, all the shows that we're doing. But it's all good, and we're happy to have you here. I know how busy you are. Right from here, you're headed up to Doylestown to continue your leadership in a very positive direction, that's for sure. As a retired police officer, as you know, I'm extremely proud to do these shows with all the heroes. And the program that's here, I just want to make a quick notation that we've been doing for many, many years that you're aware of. Vehicles right now are very short and scarce because of the shortage of the conductor chips, and there's other issues as well. A big matter with we just don't have enough people in transportation. There's over 600,000 jobs between freight and the inspection of these vehicles to bring them to different areas of the country. But we're getting through it. We're getting through it. And for all our police, fire, our military, and our medical, police, fire, EMTs, paramedics, military and medical, and all your family members, Team Toyota is here as a hub in Bucks County, in the center part of Bucks County here, to come in, ask for me, Tom Mellon. As you can see back there, in need of a car, call me. Dispelling all the pun. It's a place here where we do give you a lot of respect and good pricing, and we're not hammering people. There's a lot of dealerships out there that are actually charging over the market price or over the MSRP. They're calling it a market adjustment, but we don't do that here. We practice a very high ethical standard, and that's the program that we have, the Heroes Auto Recognition Program for all of our people out there that are heroes. Our last show in 2022, we discussed some accomplishments that improved the operation for the Sheriff's Department, and now here we are in 23. We're going to talk about some things that you have. You have a vision for 23. I'm certain will even be better than 22.
Yep, 22 is my first year there. Just kind of getting my feet wet, observing some changes. We were able to increase our personnel in the 23 budget, which was long overdue and needed, as we've talked about. And with that increase, we are formulating a warrant unit. I know we've talked about this. This has been a big issue of mine. There's a lot of warrants, people that the judge's order picked up, or judges sign warrants, or whatever it might be. People fail to appear for court up in Doylestown, and warrants issued for their arrest, and a lot of times that's where it ended. And not anymore. Those days are coming to an end. We're formulating an active unit to go out every day and pick up those that have not paid their price or their debt to society and need to be brought before justice. With that said, we're in the midst of working on, we had it years ago and it died for one reason or another, but I'm bringing it back to life, like a top 10 wanted in Bucks County that we're going to highlight, whether it's be once a week or how. It'll be on social media, it'll be on our website, but also I'm looking to create some sort of show or platform, whatever you might call, to highlight those that are most wanted in Bucks County and get them off the street. Because, today, when you and I started, social media was no such thing. But now with, all the different social media platforms out there and everybody communicating, you didn't have to stop to get a dime. I remember a dime. Boy, am I old.
They carried a long way, too, a dime at one time.
Yeah, to put it in your phone. Everybody has phones. Everybody has means of communication, whether it's emails or texting or whatever it might be. And they see people, they know people that want it, and let us know where they are so we can go get them. And not just, for, justice and bringing them before a judge or bringing them back to the criminal justice center, but also many of these people are suffering from other issues, whether it be mental health. We were talking about the show. We're going to get about it later with gun permits.
With gun permits and all.
Mental health and drug addiction continues to be a huge issue. And some of these people that are wanted for crimes, it's not that they need to go to jail, but we do need to get them help.
Right.
Whether it's mental health help or drug addiction help, whatever it might be. But them wandering the streets or couch surfing or going from house to house or whatever it might be and having warrants out for their arrest, the problem gets compounded. So we want to get them help. And that's some of the things, when I was in Bensalem, I was very big on that. And that was one of the reasons why I ran for county offices, because I wanted to take a lot of those initiatives and make them county-wide. And in 23 and 24, we're going to see a lot of that stuff come to life. And we're going to see a lot of new programs county-wide, and the Sheriff's Office is going to try to take the lead on a lot of this stuff, working with all the PDs, the 38 police chiefs in Bucks County, who are great men and women. So that's where we're going right now, and I'm sure we're going to get into a little bit more of the weeds on these topics. But
we definitely will.
We got some new things launching. We're going to bring we have a female and a male deputy that just got 2 dogs. At the end of
the forming of a canine.
Well, they're going to they start the academy, the Canine Academy this month in January in Philadelphia. Philly PD has always been good partners for us, always been very helpful. So they're going to Philadelphia, and they'll be going to the Canine Academy, and they're going to be explosive detection dogs. It's the first 2 that the county has as an asset. I mean, we have some in the local PDs, but these will be 2 county assets, and we'll be able to respond anywhere that's needed. But mainly for the protection and the well-being of the Criminal Justice Center. That's a lot of people in and out of that building every day. We've got a lot of things going on there, so we want to make sure it's as safe as possible. So those are just some of the things. The warrant unit's going to be the big one. We're going to start doing a little bit more intel gathering and things like that. So I'm excited for 23 and 24, and I know everybody's like, why is he talking about 24? Because it's going to be here before you know it.
Right
and I try not to just think of a year. We wanted, things to roll out into the following years and things to become, permanent fixtures in Bucks County. You just can't think, a year. Unfortunately, in government, we don't think, long-term out. A lot of times only people think about election cycles. Whether it's me or somebody else, I don't really care, but we want to think long range here and what's best for the residents and the visitors of Bucks County.
It's fantastic that you can, with your experience, and you can broaden your skills and look ahead with vision where other people can't because of the experience that you have, knowing, as you just indicated, that 23 is the beginning, but it's not the end.
No.
And, you want to continue to look forward because there's so much you can do in one day, but you have that plan ahead, beginning with the end in mind,
right.
As I like to use often. But, the warrant unit, now I'm certain now that you have some additional staff, you're going to be moving some of your more experienced deputies into that warrant division.
Well, we're putting out to see who's interested, number one. Obviously, you can assign people, but as you well know, it's better to ask people
no doubt.
that want to do different things. We have 4 deputies that are assigned to domestic relations. There's about 160 warrants out in Bucks County for people, and that's not really a lot, but it is for this one specific issue of people that are not paying child support. And someone might, think, well, what's the big deal? And the big deal is that's 160 kids, plus some of them have numerous kids that are not getting the financial help that they need. And what does that mean to the average citizen? Somebody's going to pay for that.
No, you're right.
We're going to pay for it one way or the other. So we want to hold these folks accountable for their child support. So I have 4 deputies And we're reimbursed by the state for that through our partners in domestic relations in the courthouse.
Well, that helps a little bit.
Well, it's no cost to the local taxpayer, which is
Good.
nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes from the state, but it's no cost out of local taxpayers. So 4 of those deputies are reimbursed by our domestic relations department in the courthouse and work for the courts. But the other warrants, the criminal warrants, like I said, we have about 7,800 criminal warrants outstanding.
Too many.
That's a lot of warrants at the sheriff's office.
7,800. It's hard to imagine.
And 1/3 of that is felonies. So 1/3 of those warrants are major crimes.
Wow.
Not minimizing other crimes, but there's minor assaults, drugs, DUIs, thefts that are misdemeanor crimes. Some of them are misdemeanor crimes. That's not in the 1/3. So 1/3 are felonies. People stealing cars, robberies, burglaries, criminal trespass, and other crimes.
Just basic arithmetic. That's 2,600.
It's a lot of.
Yeah, as we call them, the Part 1 offenses.
Yeah, the Part 1 offenses. So that's a lot. That's a lot of, and that's just way too much. So we're always gonna have a certain amount of warrants, but I want to make sure that we cut them back as best as we can, and we want to get them because as time gets between us and that warrant, addresses become stale, people move on, and it becomes even more costly. We're sending deputies this week to Florida, Wisconsin, and some others western part of the country for people that are wanted out of Bucks County, and that comes at a cost. And people might be listening to this and think, boy, that's a lot of wasted money, and I don't necessarily disagree with you, but unfortunately with the law states we have to go get them, and it's a little bit more complicated than that. But I'm actually I like to change things. I hate people that tell me, well, we've been doing it that way forever. So I'm working on I'm trying to get involved in a group in the state level to change some things, because the one good thing that came out of COVID is that we could do a lot of stuff remotely now. So why I have to fly people, and most of these people are not going to go to jail. They're going to come back, go before a judge, and sometimes the crimes aren't that horrible that they need to be incarcerated. But if they don't go forward with their probation and parole, then warrants become issued for their arrest, and we got to bring them back. And my feeling is if they're not Pablo Escobar, sometimes we don't need to justice comes at a price.
Sure it does.
And there's not an endless supply of money, and our commissioners are very good at trying to keep everybody accountable. And that's one of the things I learned in Ben Salem. It's just not a endless supply of money, and you have to, Joey D keeps you accountable for every penny you spend, as you well know. And I brought that skill up to the county, but we have to have enough to do the job too, because we're not in a for-profit. We're not a company. We're not a car dealership, or we're not Walmart or Target. We're not turning a profit. Unfortunately, that's not the way we operate, and we end in the red every year. Not really, but we don't bring in money to offset. I mean, we bring in tax money. That's it.
Look at the country, the situation. Talking about being in the red.
Yeah.
My gosh. Hopefully things will turn in a positive direction. We got to get rid of the divisiveness. That's the number one concern that I have. Too much divisiveness. Too much worrying about for themselves and not worrying about what's best for the people.
I agree.
And hopefully we're going to see some changes now that we have a new speaker in there. And everyone has to rally behind this individual so that we can get things done.
I agree with you 100%. And there were presidents that were in my adult life that I didn't vote for and that I didn't want as president, but once they became president, they were my president.
Rally behind them. Sure.
And that's the end of that. Listen, I say what I think. I didn't personally vote for Joe Biden, but I want him to be the best president of the United States we ever had.
That's exactly right.
Because I depend on it. I depend on him. My family depends on it.
Sure.
The same thing. And we have a great new governor now, Josh Shapiro, and I'm sure he's going to do great things.
No question. I think so.
We want we want people that are going to get behind us, and we got to get behind them.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break so that we can hear from some of our sponsors. Bree, right? You're listening to Behind the Badge here at 746 East Lincoln Highway in Central. I'm ready to say Central, in the center of Bucks County here in Langhorne. Don't go anywhere. You'll hear much more from your sheriff right here on WBCB 1490 and 107.3 on the dial. Fred Harran, our Bucks County Sheriff. We'll return in a few moments.
Hi, Paul Muller from Team Toyota. With the season finally changing, things in the car market are pretty much the same. You can wait for months to find a new car, or don't wait at all. With over 100 certified Toyotas in stock with low mileage and great warranties, you can drive one home today. Plus, get free maintenance and roadside assistance for 1 year. Or choose a budget-friendly used car that meets your financial and lifestyle needs. So start the season in your new used car at Team Toyota. Just visit teamtoyota.net.
For more than 125 years, the Philadelphia Protestant Home has been family to seniors living independently or in personal care and skilled nursing. PPH is a premier community for affordable, quality care and vibrant living. Through its Benevolent Care Fund, PPH also provides peace of mind security to eligible residents who no longer can afford their living expenses. PPH offers spacious studio 1 and 2 bedroom apartments with balcony, patio, and garden view options. Call now to schedule a tour, 215-697-8000, or visit us on the web at pphfamily.org. At PPH, we're family.
When you want to relax, go to Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spas. They make relaxation affordable and convenient. Whether you want a rejuvenating massage or a refreshing facial, Hand and Stone is the place to go. Introductory massage or facials start at just $59.95. Visit handandstone.com or one of their 50 locations throughout southern New Jersey, Delaware, and Pennsylvania, including the Lehigh Valley.
We're back here with Behind the Badge with our Bucks County Sheriff, Fred Harran. Once again, Fred, I know you're always busy, but this is so important for the listenership to understand what's going on out there and what your functions and purpose in life is right now, which is not just, walking in and doing an 8-hour-a-day job. It's a lot more than that, because I know that mind of yours is always moving.
Yeah, that's not a good thing sometimes. It keeps me up, and I get ideas, or I'm trying to follow up on something. So it was a lot crazier in Mensalem, I will say that, as far as the everyday.
Right.
It's a different, as we've talked about it the last year, a much different role, but it does give you an opportunity to do some different things at a countywide level, which
Sure.
is which is why I did it.
Yes,
I wanted
exactly.
to,
What was your next step? It was your next step. That's what I can say. I mean, I watch you grow as you over the years, and it was a good step for you.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I didn't know that you didn't have to be a U.S. Congressman to be Speaker of the House, or I would have put my name in for that.
Put your name right in there.
I would have done a good job.
Yeah, they could have put. Well, some people were saying, "Well, why don't Donald Trump go in there?" I said, "Let's hold back a little bit here."
God, please.
Yeah, we don't want a lot of disharmony. Let's just let things go right now with what we have. It took 15 votes, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
or 15.
We gotta get on the track, and
wow.
Let's not say any more.
No,
about that.
yeah, we better not.
I'm about to get myself into trouble.
Yeah, you and me both. That's the truth. But let's just take a quick brush, because I know we want to cover warrants, bench warrants, gun control a little bit, so that people understand about bearing arms and what the Constitution really revealed and what the predicate was back then, 200 years ago, when it was put into an enactment and law. But let's just brush over a little bit with the new warrant division. A lot of people here, well, now the warrants are going to be served, but how is a warrant put together and formed? I mean, now you got reliable, confidential informants, you have crimes that occurred, the warrants were already enforced, and now you're going out to collect them.
So for us, the majority of the warrants, these 7,800 warrants that I talk about, these are warrants that are already people have been into the system, and they did not show for their day in court. And the judge, if you don't show for your day in court, a warrant is issued for your arrest. This happens numerous times a day.
Too often
when we have criminal weeks in Doylestown, and a warrant is issued for your arrest, and that's where it goes. It goes in NCIC, National Crime Information Center. And if you are on vacation, you might not even know that you have a warrant. Sometimes I don't buy that, but some people say, "Oh wait, I didn't know I had a warrant." Well, if you got locked up, I think that would be a very traumatic event in your life.
Yes.
But let's say some time is gone, you moved, and you didn't get your notice in the mail that you were supposed to be in court, whatever it might be, and a warrant's issued for your arrest. And then, let's just say you're down the shore, you're in Wildwood, or let's say you're in Disney World with your family, you're driving down International Drive in Orlando, you go through a stoplight, and the officer takes your driver's license, to write out the ticket for the traffic light, puts your name into the computer, and you come back wanted out of Bucks County. Well, your vacation is now ruined because you're being taken into custody. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, and then you'll be extradited back to Bucks County. 90% of the time, depending on the crime. So it's imperative that people, pay attention to that sort of stuff when you get arrested, and then, if you don't hear back from anybody, it's not that we forgot about you.
No.
You're probably missing something.
Yes.
So it's very easy. You can call the Bucks County Sheriff's Office. You can come to the courthouse. I would suggest you don't do it at Friday at 3:55. That's not the best day to turn yourself in, because you might not get before a judge, and you could be sitting in jail all weekend.
Yeah, that's true.
I would recommend you come in early in the day, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesdays. If you think you have a warrant, you can call the sheriff's office, and we'll run you to see if you have a warrant. If you come in, and we have people, as crazy as it sounds, we have people that come in and I think I might have a warrant for my arrest, and we'll get them before a judge and get them released.
There you go. That's one less one to be concerned about.
Yeah, and I think people, we're not here to put you in jail. First of all, it's not helping anybody, depending on the crime. It costs a lot of money.
Yes.
But we do want to clean our warrants up, and you do have to go before a judge. That's why they're the judge. That's the way the system works. And the judge eventually will figure out whatever your punishment, if you will, or what you have to, pay the piper, whatever it might be, for that particular crime. But you can call us. You can come in, and we'll let you know if there's a warrant for your arrest. Again, don't do it Friday at 3:55. That's not a good time. But, you do it Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. You come in 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll get you out of there by afternoon. You'll be out and, a free person with no warrant out for your arrest. Certainly, you can call the sheriff's office. You could email us, whatever it might be, or just pop in, whatever. I would just come up to Doylestown even before going to a local PD's office, because police department then would probably have to take you into custody, and then you could be sitting in a jail cell for hours. So I would recommend just coming up and getting it straightened out, because there's a lot of warrants out there in Bucks County.
Oh my God, yeah.
The other warrants, those are bench warrants. Those are warrants that
let's talk about them a little bit.
When you don't show up for court proceedings, that it's gone to Doylestown, a bench warrant's issued for your arrest. Of course, there are other warrants. So a local police officer might pick you up for a particular crime. Maybe it's possession of drugs, maybe it's DUI, and you're released via what we call summons. So certain crimes you don't have to go before a judge at night. Normally it's misdemeanor 2s and less, which would be a DUI, which would be a petty theft, it could be a small amount of drugs, things of that nature. You'll be processed in a police department, and then most of the time, 95% of the time, you'll be released that night. But you've got to pay attention to your mail.
That's important.
Come certified, notice to go to court, and if you don't show up for court, that'll go through the system, and then a warrant will be issued for your arrest as well. And then there are other crimes. There are crimes that you commit that you've never been arrested for. The police are investigating, and then they get enough, as we talked on the break, probable cause. They swear out an affidavit before a judge, a local district justice. A warrant is issued for your arrest, and then they go looking for you. Sometimes, especially when a lot of crimes in the lower end of the county, in my Ben Salem days, a lot of the folks, over 52% of the people that we arrested have Philadelphia addresses. Many of those are bad addresses, or they move, or they're couch surfing, or whatever it might be. So we go looking for you for a certain amount of time, and then that warrant winds up finding its way up to Doylestown, and then the sheriffs will come looking for you.
Sure.
But, the key is, one is don't get arrested.
That's the best
well, I shouldn't say don't
best
get arrested.
Advice.
Don't commit crime.
Right.
Don't commit crime, and then you don't even have to listen to this radio show. Don't commit crime.
Don't say that.
No, I shouldn't say that.
No.
Don't commit crime. You don't have to listen to this segment about how to get your warrant straightened out.
Better.
All right.
Better.
Tune in all the other times.
Sounds better, doesn't it, Bree? Yeah.
Don't commit crime. But for whatever reason, you went down a bad hole, so to speak, and a crime was committed, and just pay attention to the mail, pay attention to what's going on, and call. You can always call. I remember back, in my prior life in Ben Salem, people would get arrested for DUI and not hear anything.
Sure.
Because sometimes it takes the labs a long time to get that blood result back. At least it did, not so much anymore. You know who fixed that problem?
Who?
Guy you know very well.
Joe?
No. Our wonderful district attorney.
Oh, Matt.
Yeah.
What a great guy. Yeah.
See,
Mr.
does he name me does he ever mention my name on his show?
We're gonna have to look back, Bree, and see, who's really, supporting each other, and Well, you may have higher points here. I mean, you know, that was very nice of you to say that. Complimenting our district attorney.
District attorney.
Wow, he's right behind you, by the way.
Is he?
The
He's
picture
always
there.
he's always around me somewhere.
Right.
I always feel his
he
presence.
He did ask me. He said, you know, with the photo that you did back there, why wasn't our sheriff there? I said, well, we'll have to get another picture taken.
There's no way he said that.
He did. Yeah, Matt. Say, I'm trying to pick you up a little bit, but now you're now Fred's up there a little bit. Speaking of hierarchy, here we are. Paul Muller, our sponsor, just stopping by. How are you? There's no warrants for your arrest, Paul, so we're. Thank you. But you ready for this? 7,800 of them in Bucks County. We're talking about that right now. 7,800. You can come on out. Sure.
Tom said I can have that truck before I leave. Is that true?
Not a problem. Okay. Yeah, for the right price.
For the right price.
Everything's great. 7,800 outstanding warrants.
Bench warrants.
A third of them. Bench warrants. A third of them are of severity. Part 1 offenses, felonious type of warrants. That's crazy. Almost a million. Or how many people in Bucks County? I mean,
was it residential population is like 690,000 or something. I think 1.2 million during the day.
Yeah.
That's just at Parks.
Yeah,
Casino.
coming in and out. Yeah, at Parks Casino. You're right.
The other half come to Team Toyota.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Well,
that's a great commercial.
We'll check them for the bench warrants when they come in here.
I'm not one of them. I'm good to go.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
That list, I'll start looking for people. See if we can't go out and do a little bounty hunt.
Well, we can. There's bail. We don't use bail bondsmen, but we can offer people, like, we can trick them and tell them they're going to get a free card if you come to Team Toyota.
That's a great idea.
And take them into custody.
Right.
Go out and get them. Like in the old days, the Wild West with the bounty hunters, where you go out and you get the guy that's. I realize that's not dead or alive.
We need to revert back to those measures back. Yeah. That's another story.
Oh, yeah, I think they should arm the judges. They wouldn't be out on warrant.
Right. Paul Muller, thank you very much.
That was it. I didn't say that, folks.
No, exactly. But yeah, when you take some of these small offenses, someone's on vacation, as you pointed out, in Florida, for example, and they get pulled over, you know, some type of a traffic condition where they were speeding, whatever it may be, and they run the person through NCIC, whether it's a male or female, doesn't matter, and all of a sudden they find that this person has a bench warrant issue. With severity in place, how, as a measure, I mean, if it's for a traffic violation, what do they do with a person like that?
So they're taken into custody. It would be, the warrant would have extradition, how far we're willing to go for it. Most of the crimes are, extraditable 3 states surrounding Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Or nationally. I mean, we have some ones that, most felonies are going to be totally extraditable all across the country. The other issue, too, is when people re-enter the United States, when you go through customs now, and we've had this happen, people in Bucks County, we don't have an airport, but this has happened to us with Newark Airport. People, I forget what county that is in Jersey, escapes me, but people come back into the country, and then they pop for a warrant, and they're taken into custody in another state. We got to go to Jersey to go get them and bring them back. It's
there's cost involved with all that.
Oh, my God.
That's the problem.
This one case, and I fought this case. I think I talked about this on the show. This woman that stole a car in Bucks County. The car was left running. She has some mental health issues. Not a desperado. She steals a car, whatever. It's a felony. She gets sentenced. She breaks her probation and goes to North Dakota. I told you the story when I first came on. It happened like the first 3 days when I took office in the sheriff's.
I remember. But some of the people would be interested.
Well,
in
we go out to get her, and we bring her. We try to get back on the plane with her, coming back, and she gets bumped off the flight. The airlines canceled her ticket. Remember that story?
I remember it. Yeah.
A couple weeks later, we cut her loose. She gets picked up again in North Dakota. We go back. We get her. We bring her back. Guess where she is now? She's in Wisconsin. She gets picked up again in Wisconsin.
Oh,
guess where we're going on the 17th of January? To Wisconsin to go get her.
Maybe the Packers are playing. You can watch the
Do you know what that costs the residents of Bucks County, that
Thousands.
case? We're probably up to about $14,000. Probably more than the car was worth. So we're up to about $14,000 to transport this woman back and forth.
Yeah. But accountability is important. That's the tough part, right?
Well, and that's why I talked to you earlier about changing some things. She's not a desperado, but there's no reason in the world we shouldn't be doing this by video. But there's some There's some acts on the books that make us go and physically bring her back. When we get into gun control, we're going to talk about how things are written and how things should be. But
exactly,
this is something that that particular act needs to be changed. It's the Interstate Compact Act, Commerce Act, I think it's called. I have it on my phone. I'll take a look at the break and get the pronunciation right. Interstate Compact Act. So I'll take a look on our break, and I'll give you the right information as soon as we come back.
That sounds like a plan.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, this is your job to announce the sponsors, not mine.
I know.
Right?
But you're doing such an eloquent job. I should just let you say it.
Thanks to Paul Muller for Team Toyota. Some beautiful trucks on the line here.
Wow.
I really love this one truck. It's gorgeous. I saw it last time.
You're stealing my job, Ray.
I don't want your job.
No, I know you don't.
You're everywhere. Every Tom Mellon.
Mr. Ubiquitous. I'm all over the place, right?
I got to look that word up now.
Ubiquitous, yeah. I know Matt. Every once in a while, I'll throw a word, and he said, "Where'd you learn that one?" I said, "Probably last night."
I got to have a dictionary open when he talks.
You're right. We'll be right back after a few words from our sponsor.
Hi, Paul Muller from Team Toyota. With the season finally changing, things in the car market are pretty much the same. You can wait for months to find a new car, or don't wait at all. With over 100 certified Toyotas in stock with low mileage and great warranties, you can drive one home today. Plus, get free maintenance and roadside assistance for 1 year. Or choose a budget-friendly used car that meets your financial and lifestyle needs. So start the season in your new used car at Team Toyota. Just visit teamtoyota.net.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Wayner Nationwide Insurance, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one-stop shop for all your shopping needs at Fairless Hills.
At St. Mary Medical Center, they're on a mission to help you live your healthiest life. Learn more about their advanced technology and innovative procedures, as well as the small steps you can take to be your healthiest self. Meet their highly trained physicians and skilled professionals. Count on St. Mary for experience, brilliant technology, and the most powerful medicine of all, simple human kindness. St. Mary Healthline, every Wednesday at 9 a.m. on 1490 WBCB.
Attention, all BCWSA customers in Bucks, Montgomery, and Chester counties. No BCWSA customers will face a shutoff of their water or sewer services until July 20th at the earliest. CEO Benjamin Jones would like to assure all BCWSA customers that the guarantee of clean water and sewer service will continue uninterrupted during these difficult times. BCWSA. Proven.
Are you still out there? Because we're back from break and we have a lot more to learn for you to learn or be aware of. Some of you are probably already aware of it, but for those who are not, pay attention. So let's get back to some of the laws that are on the books that are they're antiquated and they need to be revised. They need to be changed, especially with where you were talking about the hearings.
Right.
Be able to do a hearing rather than detain someone, bring them back, spend all the money, where you can just do it through technology, right?
No, listen. If we know they're going to jail, that's one thing because they have to go to jail here.
Up, right?
But these folks are not going to jail. I mean, this particular woman, she stole a car. Okay, it's a felony. It is what it is. But she's not going to jail. She's probably not going to steal another car. She's got some mental health issues that need to be addressed.
Okay.
It's not like she's out stealing cars for drugs or whatever, or to go back into the city, whatever. So where's the cost benefit for us to keep going out there to get her? She flees to the western part of the country for some reason. Okay, whatever. I wouldn't want to go there at this time of the year, but whatever. And it was actually last winter. It's the same time. I just took office in January.
Ironically.
So it's the same time we were having the problem with her last year.
Sure.
So I'm going to work to try to get this changed. I don't know if it's a state or it's most likely a federal issue. Brian Fitzpatrick is great.
Your lawmakers, right?
He's anytime I call him and his staff with stuff, they get right on it.
Sure.
So there's a lot of state reps. We have some great state reps in this county. I've done the same thing with them with issues that they've addressed.
Right.
So I'm going to get on this year, and that would be nice. I'd feel great if we could accomplish this
Yeah.
and get this changed. So,
And that's where it begins,
that is
having a
where
power.
it begins. You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta get the law changed, and there's a lot of crazy laws on the books, and there's a lot of misinterpreted. I mean, who am I? I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a historian. I'm the bottom half of the smartest guy in the room, and I'm smart enough to know that.
You're too humble.
Well, that's the truth. There's a lot more smart people than I am, but I do know a little bit about something. 35 years in
Law
Bucks, 36
enforcement
years in Bucks doing law enforcement now, 36. Coming up on my 36th anniversary in a
And
couple
you're only
months.
44 years old. How does that work?
I wish I was 44. I feel pretty good for 58,
58, you look great.
Well, what are you now?
71.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It is amazing that I'm sitting here talking to you, right?
71 years
Yeah.
old.
And I'm not ready to retire.
No.
Nah, retire. What is that?
Well,
word?
that's why when
Take
I
it out
left,
of the dictionary.
if I didn't have this job now and
Right.
I left Ben Salem, I don't know. What am I going to do?
We'd be doing more talk shows.
Yeah.
Why not?
I
All the
could-
experience that you have, you could probably teach people things.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
If they listen to you, right?
No one listens.
No one ever listens.
No
That's
one
the problem.
listens.
That's the problem.
But we're gonna get some things changed.
Terry Jones, one of our law enforcement buddies from Philadelphia.
Hey, how are you?
Down, just had his car serviced. Heard about our radio show.
Oh, nice.
Another devoted person who likes to listen to what's going on out there, right? But yeah, you're right. I mean, these laws have to be changed. They really do.
And some of them are so antiquated and old, on the books. And I always say there's those people out there that told Christopher Columbus, "Don't go, you'll fall off." And we know the world is round and
That's
not
true.
flat.
Yeah,
but
it's not flat. That's
they
for sure.
they weren't willing to take the chance. And you gotta sometimes take a chance. Nothing comes easy. So we're gonna get some things changed this year. I'm excited for some new stuff. We're gonna. I don't know if you're ready to segue, but one of the things I want to get changed. And I talked to my old state rep when I was living in Ben Salem, Casey. No, I shouldn't say she's old. She's very young. Casey Tomlinson, who just got reelected.
She did. Congratulations to her.
Congratulations to Casey. But she's before I left Ben Salem, she was doing some amazing stuff. Got the PD a lot of some money that we've never gotten before to fight to work on the war of drugs. Here's a young lady that understands that and goes out and gets resources. And I'm excited for this year with the new legislators that we deal with here in Bucks County.
Frank Farry
now, and my good friend Joe Hogan, who just became a state representative in the Middletown area.
Yeah.
And
inspirational leader. Yeah.
Of course, Casey and so many of the reps on both sides of the aisle.
Oh yeah.
In
no
Bucks,
doubt.
that's
No
the
doubt.
one good thing here. Not the one good thing, but many of the reps, understand the drug addiction problems. People like Tina Davis, now is my state rep in Bristol.
Yeah.
Those folks understand the issues. And they do work with each other, and I think Gene DiGirolamo had a lot to do with that, fighting the fight on drug addiction in Harrisburg, really brought, and still, it does it as a commissioner now, with Commissioner Marseglia and Commissioner Harvey. The three of them really understand, those issues, and they got some great people in the county working on it. But this is what happens when you're old. I segued. I go way off where I was going.
That's all right.
What the heck were we talking about? Oh. The mental health and
mental health that is an issue.
Laws changing. So Casey Thompson, I'm coming back to where I was
Okay.
going. So we're working with it. This is what happens to me. I lose track, and I got to figure out how to get back to where I was. I got to start replaying what I said in reverse, and it'll get me to what I was saying.
My wife says that to me all the time. Did you hear what I just said? Of course I did, but I don't know if I held it into my head.
I'm very good
I
at
get in trouble.
I'm very good at short term like that. Like I get tested too. Did you just hear that? And I can spit it out exactly the way I said it. But then it's gone.
Yeah.
So she thinks I heard her, but I really didn't. I hope she's not. Well, she's working now, my wife, so I don't think she heard the show. So
Jerry will be listening in, so I have to be careful. Yeah. She says it to me a lot of times. What did I just say? I feel like I'm in the fourth grade, and the teacher's, making me stand up to repeat something. So I'm always on edge. I'm listening to every word she says.
You'll be in big trouble.
Oh, big trouble.
You'll be sleeping here in the back of the bed of that truck.
That has
truck.
happened. It has happened. From
I
time
wouldn't
to
doubt
time.
it.
Yeah.
They've called. I've heard the 911 calls come in for
Yeah, the motion detectors went
a
off.
gray-haired man sleeping in the back of a Toyota truck at Team Toyota for
That's
burglary
right.
in progress.
Yeah,
They
2
get here,
o'clock
it's
in the
just
morning.
you.
It's me. Everything's fine.
All right, now I got to finish, or I'm not gonna remember now.
Let's turn it into a comedy show, which we could use one of them on WBCB. But go ahead.
Casey.
Yes.
So I've come to her with, before I left Ben Salem, I came to her with some stuff, and she got some legislation changed. And I talked to her about what I'm about to tell you about is, one of the craziest things. I don't know if I talked to you about this before on the show. Is so when we deny a gun permit, right? It costs you $20 to submit your paperwork. It costs me more than $20 to process it. But when you get denied because you blatantly lied, and we'll talk about that. What you blatantly lied, and I'll tell you how I know people blatantly lie. I have to return your $20, certified check, mail, blah, blah. It's costing me $37 to return $20. So I'm like, wait a minute. This is the stupidest thing ever. This is government at its finest. Who created this nonsense? I said, if you lie on your application, you should lose your money.
That's right.
I shouldn't be returning money to you. So when I came in, I told my guy that does the gun permitting, I said, to hell with it. Don't return the money. And I told them, and then he came to me and says, boss, you got to return it. It's the law. And he showed it where it is. I'm like, geez, oh, man.
That's another law that needs to be revised.
So we're going to work. She said she would work on that. And so we're going to work on that the next year to get that law changed. Whether or not it happens, who knows? But that's the stupidest thing out there ever.
Ridiculous.
A gun permit got turned down, and I read the file, and I'm like, wait a minute, I locked this guy up for drug dealing in Ben Salem 100 years ago. He knows he's a felon.
Yes.
Convicted felon, and you can't possess a firearm. You can't have a carrying permit if you're a convicted felon. And there's many other crimes, some misdemeanors as well.
Right.
But the biggest one certainly is the mental health issues. There's a lot of people out there that are trying to get guns. To get carrying permits specifically. And there's a lot of states now that are doing away with gun concealed permits. Mm-hmm. And so far, and I don't think this governor will do it either, I don't think we should do away with that. I think there should be a check and balance to see who's getting a license to conceal a weapon. Pennsylvania is an open carry state, so people can have a gun and they can display it openly. I don't encourage it. But it's the law on the books. It's the law of the land right now, and certainly we'll go with the law on the.
You have to address it at that point.
Not an issue, but some people like to bait police, and it's just not a smart move.
No,
in 2020.
it's not.
Why do that? The cops have enough to worry about. Why try to bait them?
Exactly.
That's just being stupid, and you should lose your right just for that. But
right, that's another good point.
You asked me about people that are maybe suffering from dementia.
Yes.
Suffering from
Where
other mental health.
No record of any type of a medical background, but yet the concern is with the families and friends, and all of a sudden he's filling out an application. And what happens?
The county sheriff does have the authority to turn down a carrying permit for cause that's not listed. And a lot of times I'll get requests from police departments. So-and-so is, a problem in our community. He's constantly disturbances at his house, blah, 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 blah. We've gone out there. Every time we go out there, he says, hey, I got a gun. It's concealed. I have a permit signed by sheriff, whatever. And if I get those requests from PDs, and it doesn't happen every day, I'll revoke their gun permit. And we have a gun unit that goes out and revokes their permit. And then people get all ticked off. They're like, well, I have the right. I'm like, well, yes and no.
Yeah.
So, we talked to the break. Your driver's license is not a right. It's a privilege.
Right.
And I know I'm about to probably get myself in trouble, but one of the things that, some people will say that at least where you're standing with me. I don't.
No.
I come out and I don't really sugarcoat anything.
Right. It's transparent.
You know what you're standing. Where I'm coming from.
Sure.
And the Second Amendment is a very interesting document, and if you read it grammatically correct,
right,
in order to form a well-organized militia, the people's right to carry bare arms shall not be infringed.
Right. 200 years ago. I mean, sure, we had problems then.
It's a little different. And if you're, with the amount of the prevalence of drug addiction, and with the prevalence, which certainly if you're under some of these drugs, you're not making sound decisions, and the mental health issues, and that's neither one is a fault of an individual.
Sure.
Per se, but certainly mental health,
yes,
is not anyone's fault. No one wakes up in the morning and wants all these problems. But you don't want guns falling into the wrong hands. We're working on a project now at the sheriff's office, and it started a couple months back, and then it stopped because I just got busy with some other stuff, but I wanted to give it its due attention. And I can't name the facility, but a person had reached out to me and said they run a private school and they want to make their school safe, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes.
Good. That's great. Bree, thanks for keeping us informed. We can go on and on for 16 hours, Fred and I.
Just start throwing stuff at me.
Right. Important stuff, too. I mean, it's not, it's not just small. It's big. These are big issues. We're going to return after a couple words from our sponsor. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, Paul Mellon from Team Toyota. With the season finally changing, things in the car market are pretty much the same. You can wait for months to find a new car, or don't wait at all. With over 100 certified Toyotas in stock with low mileage and great warranties, you can drive one home today. Plus, get free maintenance and roadside assistance for 1 year. Or choose a budget-friendly used car that meets your financial and lifestyle needs. So start the season in your new used car at Team Toyota. Just visit teamtoyota.net.
Attention, all BCWSA customers in Bucks, Montgomery, and Chester counties. No BCWSA customers will face a shutoff of their water or sewer services until July 20th at the earliest. CEO Benjamin Jones would like to assure all BCWSA customers that the guarantee of clean water and sewer service will continue uninterrupted during these difficult times. BCWSA. Proven.
Hi, this is Dick Vermeil for Independence Blue Cross. In all my years of coaching football, I've seen some really good arms, but none better than the winning arms I've seen lately, helping us to beat COVID-19. Right now, there are many of us who are showing our arms and lining up for vaccinations. When your opportunity comes, be ready. It's safe, effective, and rigorously tested, a key in the game plan to defeat the virus. For more information, visit ibx.com.
See, that wasn't too hard. We're back right away, but the sponsors are very important. Paul Muller does a great job. Great job. He's just very charitable and understands the importance of these programs so that the sheriff can convey important messages and good information so that you understand what's going on in the county of Bucks, along with our buddy Matt Weintraub.
That's twice his name was mentioned. I want the same back when he's here.
You want the same back? That's true.
He'll be a Fred who?
Yeah, right, yeah. Well, who's this Fred you're talking about? But, yeah, let's talk about, what we're discussing with the Second Amendment and the ability to carry a firearms,
right,
or what does law dictate with that?
So if you, in Pennsylvania, if you want to carry concealed, obviously open carry with the exception of the city of Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, you can, open carry.
Yes, people come in here sometimes with
now,
weapons.
So that's interesting. You said that. So this is owned by, I guess, Paul Muller.
Paul Muller.
So this is his building.
Yes.
And he can say no guns allowed in the building.
He has that right.
He has the right. This is not. So remember, our constitutional Bill of Rights is protecting people from the government, not protecting people from the people.
Yes.
So I think people need to understand, it's almost like back in the COVID days, there was no such law as you have to wear your mask at Walmart. But if Walmart's corporate policy was you can't come into our store without a mask, that's the law you're breaking, that you are not allowed in their store, so it's trespassing.
Mm-hmm.
So an owner of a business can do anything they want. They, really can't not let you in, based on male, female, race,
mm-hmm.
creed.
No type of discrimination.
Yeah, that's an issue.
Yes.
But they can stop you from coming in here with a gun.
Yeah, exposed.
So that's a different
that's a right.
a different system.
Yeah.
A different whatever, I can't think of it. But
sure.
Anyway, getting back to that. So when people come and we get, I can't believe every day there's a line of people getting gun permits. I thought we ran out of citizens in Bucks County, but every single day people come in to get their carrying permits or renew their carrying permits, whatever it might be. And most of them, a large percentage, get approved. There are a handful that get approved by get denied because they don't meet the criteria of the state, which we'll talk about. And then there's those that before the break I talked about that I can just deny based on cause at my discretion.
Good answer to the listenership.
And it's not something I do. There's got to be a reason. I just don't do it for the willy-nilly reason of I don't feel like giving out guns today.
Sure.
Or carrying permits, but we do we do deny people based on cause that's not listed. But generally, if you've been convicted of a felony or a lot of misdemeanor crimes as well, you can't get a gun. And if you've had a 302 and a mental health commitment, involuntary commitment, that's the key word, involuntary,
right.
Involuntary commitment, you can't get a gun. And you have to be able to speak English to get a gun permit, which...
Now, see, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
That's important for everyone to understand.
Yeah, you have to be able to speak English.
How about that? Okay.
To get a gun. You
That's
can't come in
important.
with an interpreter and get a gun. But those are some of the main issues, obviously. Certainly... and I guess I don't know the rationale for the English, but I imagine if you cannot hear somebody, if you don't understand what somebody's saying to you,
right?
You think there's a threat and there's a not. So at least our legislators, that made some common sense. But it's the mental health component that really worries me, and the crime component, because there's plenty of people that are convicted of crimes and still come in to apply for a gun permit. And it's not like they ask us, hey, I was convicted of this crime. That's fair game. I get it.
Sure.
You could Google it, but if you don't want to Google it, you can ask us. But they just mark down no.
Okay.
Like, what are you, stupid? I mean, we're
yeah.
going to find out in a few minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
So we run your name and everything. You have to have ID. And then we come back that, you were convicted of a crime. Like, how did you not know that?
Right.
Exactly. So those are what I was talking about before the break. Those people, one, it'd be nice if they were arrested, first of all. Two, they should forfeit their deposit, and I shouldn't have to return any money to them. That's kind of ridiculous, especially when it costs me more money to return it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's insane.
It's the taxpayer that's paying it out.
That's I mean, because our budget is all tax money, county tax money. So
yeah.
It is the stupidest thing ever. But hopefully this year we'll get that changed, and I can report in 2024 that that stuff has been changed. Maybe we should try to keep a list of the things we say we're going to do, and then make sure we follow up. Check myself to make sure that we're following up and we're getting some changes. It'd be nice to kind of a year in review. It takes more than a year to get laws changed, though, and passed. That's the problem.
That's true. That's true. Crimes. We're talking about criminal activity. Summary offense. Someone pleaded guilty to a summary offense. Can he get a gun permit?
Yeah, if you're pleading guilty to a summary
important.
offense, I mean, disorderly conduct, public intoxication, certain trespasses are summary citations. Certainly, retail theft. Some of the retail thefts are summary citations. I certainly would rather check my notes.
That's a fine line.
But summaries you can get as we call them, non-traffics.
But it's judgmental. I mean, if you feel that the person should not be carrying a gun, then you have that.
As the
that
example
right.
I get, if the local PD, New Hope has a guy that they're locking up every month because he's drunk on the street.
And disorderly.
That's a summary offense. But if the chief called me and said, "Listen, this guy's got a carrying permit, and we're dealing with him in a bar every weekend. He's being a dope," I'll revoke his permit.
Absolutely.
So that's so there are some summary offenses based on that request by a local PD, or as you were telling me, somebody that has a family member that doesn't have a doctor's certifiable mental health issue, but the family knows that they're slowly on the dementia trail.
Yes.
They're having some cognitive issues.
Yes.
And if a family, made a case to me, I could certainly
revoke
or deny
right.
their permit. But that's that's also very very rare exception, because it's not something I like to do, because people do have the right
to bear arms
to a certain degree. And again, I don't necessarily agree with everything, but I'm here to uphold the laws that are on the books.
And
that's what we do. I don't interpret them. I don't create them.
Right.
I don't pick and choose which ones we follow. That's not my job. That's the legislators to change the laws, and the judges make judgment on if people break the law, and then I will enforce those decisions.
And we have some great legislators, as you pointed
out. We do have some good legislators.
Yes.
In Pennsylvania, I mean, things don't move at Fred Harran speed. I like things moving a little quicker, but it's a system we have, and it is what it is. I mean, things move a little slow, and I don't know where we are on time, but I wanted to segue into something.
5 minutes.
So I'm just going to mention this before I forget.
Oh, yeah.
and then we can talk about it next show.
The next show, the special show that we're going to be doing. Yeah, please explain that.
So our congressman, Brian Fitzpatrick, just was able to secure some money for some local for all local PDs in Bucks County. We're going to be doing some more DNA
Great.
projects, if you will. We're already the leaders in not only the country but in the world on certain DNA aspects. Bucks County is certainly in the country. We're definitely a leading county on utilizing DNA for solving crime. But, with the Ohio State killers and everything, we're going to talk about more about genealogy. I think the next show, we're going to do a whole show on that.
On genealogy.
But Brian was able to secure some funding for us that we'll be getting in 2023. Congress actually, I think it was the 24th of December.
Okay.
They passed a pretty large appropriations bill. Bucks County made out very well, and I'm not here to talk about all those other projects they got funded. But one concerning law enforcement that's near and dear to me is Rapid DNA. And now in the world of Ancestry.com and genealogy and all that, I think people don't really understand all that.
No.
When we get a case like the YSA killers and killer, people get more interested publicly. And I'm sure there'll be something else between now and the next time I come on. But we're going to dedicate most of that show, and I'm going to bring somebody on with me.
Bring someone on so that we can,
we're going to
brainstorm.
We're going to talk about that and exactly what does it mean. And I think it's cool, and I think this is the wave of the future. And when I started with DNA aggressively in 2010, this was foreign to me.
Okay.
The whole DNA world was foreign, but more specifically, using genealogy was just starting. We had some cases. The Golden State Killer. There were some cases around the country, but not nearly what's happening now.
The infancy stages then.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And
it's more advanced.
It is more advanced. So you know what? I said we wouldn't be doing that, but the time has come. Maybe we need to start doing more of that stuff. And
real quick, qualifications. Do you believe that if you're going to be carrying a gun, you have the permit to carry, just as there's a test for driving, should there be a test of some type so that people can shoot straight? God forbid. I mean, but
so it's an interesting point. I don't necessarily want to be the one to get into testing, because what happens is then you're on the hook legally if that person does something.
Good point. I never thought of that.
Let's say they're involved in protecting their castle. You know,
okay.
We have the castle doctrine here. They're involved in, and they shoot and they miss and they shoot at the wrong person. They're like, well, the Bucks County Sheriff's Office or, ABC Police Department trained me, or John Q. whoever trained me. So we're taking on a liability that we really don't want to take on. Second of all, again, I'm not a lawyer or a historian. Unlike a driver's license, there was no cars when the Constitution was ratified.
That's true. Good point.
So we know that driving is a privilege, not a right. The argument is that gun possession is a right, not a privilege.
Not a privilege. Exactly.
So you lose that by being a bad boy or girl.
But you would encourage, just from a personal aspect, you would encourage, not as the sheriff, but would you encourage? We only have a couple minutes, but I'm assuming you would encourage, if people have a gun, just on your own, go out and learn how to use the darn thing.
You should learn how to use it.
Yeah.
You should learn how to use it. You should have it locked in the house.
Yes.
And it is. How many times we hear on the news so and so got shot by accident?
By accident.
The brother was playing with the gun. I mean, kids are intrigued by these things.
They are. They are.
So you gotta secure it. It is guns don't kill people. People kill people. Guns just don't sit on a shelf, go off accidentally.
No.
Somebody's got to put their hands on it. And we have to be better trained, and people have to, when you get a gun, you have to know what you're doing with it. And
absolutely. Well, Fred, thanks for coming in as always and doing this show for Bucks County. So our listenership will learn a lot more with this special program that we're going to be doing in March, January, February, because I'm not going to mention the name again.
Oh, that guy!
Holy jeez, MT or MW, right?
MW.
Yeah, MW. MW will be coming in next month. Jennifer Shorn is going to be coming in too. Jen, his first assistant.
First assistant,
fantastic. Coming in as well. But once again, I want to thank you. Happy New Year once again.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Are we bringing the cookies back next month?
We're going to bring the cookie. Yeah, we'll work.
How about some fruit? How about fruit? A fruit
Even better.
A little fruit bowl.
We're going to bring the fruit back, right? But thank you for joining us. As I say at the end of every show, I want to thank Paul Muller for his sponsorship. Be safe out there. Don't text while you drive. I tell people that all the time, and I see them doing it when I'm driving by. That don't text while you drive. And Jerry, I already walked the dog this morning, but I'll be home sometime this afternoon. And that's pretty much our wrap. Most importantly, God bless America.